Hey, what's up? Ian here, and this is my review for the EPZ Q1 single dynamic driver IEM, and the retail price for this is 23 US dollars, very budget, and it's available on EPZ's AliExpress store. So if you guys are interested, do check out the unaffiliated links in the description below. So in this video, I'm going to go through the accessories, design, build quality, fit and comfort, my sound impression, and I'll conclude if this is worth your 23 US dollars or not. And this video will have timestamp, so please feel free to skip around. Right, so let's not waste any time. Let's go through the accessories. Comes in a very nice box like this. In fact, a very standard box. At the back, you do get some specifications, so let's quickly go through that. Frequency range is 20 to 20,000 Hertz. Sensitivity is 110, and the impedance is 32 ohms, and the driver is a 13mm titanium coated driver. Okay, inside the box you get user guide, paperwork, drawstring pouch, and some ear tips. Okay, right, so let's put that one side first, and the ear tips. Let's talk about ear tips. So ear tips, you have two types, right? So you have the double flange and the single flange. Honestly, not a fan of these ear tips, even though I've tried the double flange, I've tried the single flange. In fact, the single flange is a little bit odd to me. It's a bit short, okay, that's one thing, and also it's a bit flat. So yeah, not a fan of this ear tip, so I have been using my own ear tips. That's for the ear tips. And then for the cable, it's a 4-core cable. Again, I mean, the cable is fine. It's a bit soft, a bit thin, and quite flimsy as well. But one thing good is that it's not grippy, so it doesn't grip on itself, and doesn't, even if it tangles, it gets untangled quite easily. Okay, it's terminated with the angled 3.5 headphone jack. It's got the standard Y splitter chin slider, and it's got a microphone, right? Microphone with the volume rocker and the play pause button, and the ear hooks are not bad. It's kind of soft, and the 2-pin connector. Right, now let's talk about the IEM itself. IEM is okay. I mean, it's a standard IEM shape, and it's got the faceplate. It's got a marbling effect. In fact, if you want to customize your own personal IEM, you can approach EPZ. They can do something about it, I guess, but I don't know the price, so this one you got to ask them for individual quote. But for the standard ones, yeah, this is how it will look. The entire shell is 3D printed of resin, and yeah, pretty standard shape, right? As you can see, there's like a fin at the back here, and the inner shell, and the nozzle is part of the IEM itself. It's got a perforated metal filter. Okay, so that's for the design. Now let's talk about fit and comfort. Fit and comfort is alright. It doesn't really go into my ear. Nozzle's a little bit short, and the ear tips are, well, not my type of ear tips, but you know, I've been using my own personal ear tips, and yeah, they fit me better. So in terms of fit, it's okay. It doesn't really fit my ear. Now comfort is fine. There is no sharp edges or any unusual you know, shape to this IEM, so it fits my ear. I mean, it's pretty comfortable to wear, and doesn't give me any fatigue while wearing. Now, seal and isolation, I think, as I mentioned, if I were to use my own ear tips, I get a better seal. But if I do use their ear tips, I don't get any seal, right? So yeah, use your own ear tips if you can. Right, so that's for the overall isolation. Now, in terms of sound, okay, let's first talk about the technicalities of this. 23 bucks actually performs just as its asking price, you know, so it's not an outperformer. It's also not really, you know, crappy performer. So it's actually just nice, right? So for this price, 23 bucks. Now in terms of soundstage, it's actually pretty okay. It's a pretty wide soundstage, not much of a depth and not much of a height as well. It's just width to the sides, pretty standard, and vocals actually is not really intimate, so it's quite spaced out lah. So that's for the soundstage, but the sound separation and imaging is okay. Again, you know, it's not the best. I can actually identify where they are, but I can't really pinpoint where they are. So yeah, and then on certain tracks, they are actually quite muddled, so can't really separate out the instruments. They're all muddled up in a big pot kind of thing. So yeah, sound separation is okay, not too bad, not too good also. And then for detail retrieval is fine, it's alright. It's not a lot of detail retrieved. I can really safely say that most of the details are actually recessed, okay, which I'll come back to later in terms of the tuning. And then for the resolution is fine. It's actually, well, pretty okay in terms of the resolution. Alright, so that's for the technicalities of this. And now the tone and timbre for this is warm, is fun, is casual. That kind of tone and timbre is kind of lightweight in terms of the note weight, but in terms of the tone, timbre is warm, fun, colored, very colored type of tone and timbre. Right, so that's for the tone timbre. Let's talk about sound signature, and let me take out my graph and just show you guys. Alright, so this is the sound signature of the EPZ Q1. Now when I look at this graph, I didn't know how to categorize it, but this looks like more of a bass boosted treble recessed IM. Okay, so this is, when I look at it, it's pretty linear to me. I mean, if you don't look at this part, but if you look at one straight line, sorry about that, but if you look at one straight line, the treble is actually below the bass. Okay, in terms of the bass level. So bass boosted, a lot of mid bass, and then well, mids are recessed, and then you get your treble that is recessed. Okay, so this is the sound signature that you see. But based on what I hear, this is exactly what I hear. Okay, so let's just go through the different frequencies. Now, sub bass is rumbly. It's got good rumble, it's good extension, it's warm, it's, well, I wouldn't say heavy note weight, but it's present. Okay, it's one of the most present frequencies apart from the mid bass. But yeah, sub bass is fine, it's good. Okay, now for the mid bass, is present, it's ever present, and it's got thumpy and, well, very impactful presence, and it's warm sounding, it's fun sounding as well, and it bleeds into the mids. So most of the time what I'm hearing is actually the bass, the thump of the bass and the rumble of the bass. Okay, so in most of my tracks. And then for the lower mids, I do hear the instruments. Alright, I mean, instruments, they are fine. I mean, I can hear them, but they sound a bit unnatural, a bit laid back, right? A little bit muted, if you ask me. Yeah, and the clarity of the instruments not very clear. I mean, though they sound warm, they sound quite fun to listen to. It's just that, yeah, not very clear and not very prominent instruments. Pianos, especially my electric guitars, my trumpets, my snares. They sound a little bit muted, I guess. Yeah. So that's for instruments. And then for vocals, they have that unnatural tone and timbre to them, and they sound laid back, especially female vocals. Not very exciting female vocals. Male vocals, they sound fine, they sound good, authoritative and warm and fun sounding, but female vocals, they sound a little bit lackluster and yeah, not very forward and energetic type of female vocals. Now treble. So treble, this is where, you know, honestly, this is not my cup of tea, right? But it may be your cup of tea, right? Because no, this treble is a very smooth and, as you can see, very linear type of treble. There's not much peanut gain, right? In fact, there isn't much here, and then not much excitement, not enough bite. To me, my trumpets, they sound a little bit blunt and a bit far away, and in female vocals as well. So not much of a excitement and energy. Okay, so that's for, you know, the peanut gain here, and then also the brightness. So I mean, the presence of it is kind of dark. It's a dark, very soft treble, and everything else, including my female vocals, my hi-hats, cymbal strikes, and everything, the shakers, everything else, it sounds very dark, very soft, and very far away, and definitely not shouty, not sibilant, not harsh at all. Okay, you're not going to hear any of that. So if you are sensitive to treble, right, and you really don't want any of those, and you want something very smooth, then this IM will be for you. But for me, again, it's not my cup of tea, right? So mid treble is fine. It plateaus out somewhere around the mid treble 8K region, and then it gets a bit more spicy, but that's about it, and then it rolls off quite naturally. Okay, but overall, this part here makes the entire treble a bit recessed. Okay, right, so that's the overall sound signature of this EPZ Q1. So let me conclude. I think as you can hear, this is really not my cup of tea. I prefer my treble to be a little bit more bright, a little bit more, in fact not a little bit more, but a lot more energetic, a lot more bite, a lot more present, okay, than what you just saw. So this Q1 is not my cup of tea, but it may be for you. So if you are sensitive to treble and you like to listen to a lot of bass heavy type of music, then this may be the IM for you. So it's more casual, fun, and easy listening type of IM, not so much clinical or critical listening, definitely. So for classical, this definitely not suitable for that. But if you're listening to pop, hip hop, metal, yeah, so this is it. Even for trance and techno, this is not really suitable for that, because when I listen to my techno songs and my trance, my hi-hats and my cymbal strikes and my claps, I can't really hear them. They sound pretty distant away. So yeah, not really suitable for that. But most of the time, I mean, maybe pop songs. Right, so that concludes my overall review and impression of this EPZ Q1. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video and also learned something from this video. And if you did, please give this video a thumbs up. And that's it for now. I hope you guys have a great day ahead, and I'll see you again in my next video. Cheers.